Hello and welcome to WEC Talk, the podcast series from the FIA World Endurance Championship. I'm Martin Haven. My first guest today hit the global stage as a top-flight rally co-driver, winning a world title before taking over the running of Peugeot Talbot Sport, winning 4 World Rally Championship titles, the Dakar 4 times and Le Mans twice consecutively, including a 1-2-3 podium sweep in 1993. His next move was into Formula One, turning Ferrari's fortunes around, leading the Scuderia to a glorious period of domination, culminating in 8 manufacturers' championships and 6 drivers' titles, 5 consecutively with Michael Schumacher. Since 2009, he's been the president of the FIA, steering global motorsport through periods of great flux, especially over the past year and more, where motorsport has somehow been kept going in the face of the unprecedented challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic. My second guest is a lifelong motorsport enthusiast. He spent his working career in the watchmaking industry and he now runs his own highly successful business creating exclusive luxury timepieces. He is passionate about classic and historic cars, and as well as collecting them, he races mouth-watering machinery from some of motorsport's golden eras. Since 2018, he's been the president of the FIA Endurance Commission, the body comprised of FIA and ACO officials, teams, manufacturers and sponsors representatives that's responsible for steering the sport. He's also supporting all-female crewed cars on the grid in both the European Le Mans Series and the World Endurance Championship and the Le Mans 24 Hours. It's a privilege to welcome Jean Todt and Richard Mille. Gentlemen, what a great opportunity to catch up with you both here. First of all, at a racetrack, which it's been a long time. We're here at Spa-Francorchamps, opening round of the FIA World Endurance Championship. And it's the dawn of a brand new era as well with hypercars. So, Monsieur President, I'm sure you've probably spent as much time explaining how hard it has been to keep motor racing going in the last year as you've actually been working behind the scenes. But has this COVID-19 pandemic been the biggest challenge that you've had as the president of the FIA?
You know, I don't like when we speak about superlative, biggest, best memory, worst memory, but clearly it's one unprecedented situation for the whole planet. You know, if somebody would have told us early 20 that we would have to have a mask to be able to move and that we were vulnerable. We know that we are vulnerable as a human being, but we were not expecting such a monster virus called COVID-19. So of course, all the planet had to live out of it, and depending of where and how, more or less good, you know. So I mean, in a way, we have a fortunate situation to see how can we restart motorsport, but some other questions, how we can make sure that we can eat, how we can make sure that we can survive. So in a way that we are blessed to have this kind of question, and clearly it's also important, I mean, to secure hope, to create emotion, and through motorsport we managed to be the first international organization to restart in July last year in Spielberg for the Formula One Grand Prix in Austria. And then, I mean, all the different championships have been living with a lot of creativity. So, I mean, the result of the creativity is thanks to our promoters, to our teams, to our competitors, and we are here.
And that creativity is at the heart of everything that motorsport is. It's immediate reactions to a situation. And Richard, that's part of what's happening with World Endurance as well. We're at the dawn, the first race of a brand new era for the top tier category, hypercar, designing a new concept for racing. Is that a brave move? Do you have to have some confidence to do something as major as that?
It's true that when we started with this concept, we started at a very difficult moment where we had economical problems in the motor industry, with a lot of restructurations with the electric devices, etc. After that, we have also the fact that motor racing sometimes is not very politically correct, and we have to face that. It's a reality we have to face, and it's also challenging for us because it's a way to show that motor racing can be very good or not bad with the planet. So we had a lot of challenges, and also coming to a new era where we had to bring as many competitors, as many makes and many brands as possible. So it was really challenging. And we have been working, I don't say like donkeys, but we have been working very hard to get results. And today we are very, very happy to see that many, many brands and famous brands are coming to endurance with a hypercar system, which is, I repeat, very reasonable in terms of cost. Which is important today where budgets are really very tight. So we have proved to be realistic in terms of budget. And the objective is to have a grid with fantastic cars and fantastic brands, which is coming. So we are quite satisfied, although it's not finished. It's never ending anyway.
First steps. Jean, your own involvement in Le Mans, you were running a major manufacturer program, obviously battling for outright honours. But in your era, in the current era, from the very beginning, privateer entries have been the backbone of endurance racing at Le Mans and everywhere else. How important is it to keep those privateer teams, those privateer drivers in the sport?
I will say that's the soul of this category. And in a way, we are talking about gender equality, we are talking about diversity, and incidentally, we are very happy. And also thanks to Richard's vision and inspiration and generosity to have one LMP2 team with 3 girls, and we have also another GT crew with 3 girls, which is absolutely fantastic, but we want more, because at the moment it's a bit like the question of COVID. We are surprised because we have 6 girls with 35 teams, so it's not enough, but still it's better than nothing. So we are going in this direction. And then covering more globally your question, that has always been a kind of specification of endurance racing. You have a different category of cars, you have iconic teams, iconic brands, iconic drivers, and you have amateurs, private, and all that passionate, and all that is mixed and working together, which is absolutely sensational. So maybe up to us to create more awareness on that, to make all those passionate people who dedicate their weekend, their free time to motor racing, to speak more about them, to engage more. So it's a great championship, great year with initiation with the start of the hybrid category. At the moment we have only 1 team, soon we will have 2, and 22 some more, 23 some more, and the dream is coming slowly, but it gives us more responsibility to make sure that we do the best for the championship.
Well, you touched on the subject of women in motorsport, and it's a little bit astonishing that only around 5% of all motorsport competitors are female. Is that, do you think, because young girls, young women don't see female competitors and they don't then realise that that's a sport that they could do? Is that possibly the problem?
I mean, originally, passion for cars is more a male patient than a female patient. But we cannot be satisfied with that. It's up to us to create more interest, but not only from women, but we want to have more Asian contribution. We want to have a more African contribution. That's what we call the diversity. And incidentally, it's a part of a global program of FIA, which is called Purpose Driven, where all that is addressed. And also we want to create more awareness about the fact that motor racing is a sport, a great show, but also a laboratory for road cars. We want that motor racings make always get safer, but we want also that motor racing is a contribution on the road and also on the environment, because it's one opportunity to be a laboratory to address those crucial topics.
And Richard, as the president said, you are supporting a car, all-female crew with the LMP2 car, which last year raced in European Le Mans Series, this year on the world stage.
So and did also last year the 24 hours.
Exactly so. And so this is really exposing to a TV audience the fact that this is a sport where physical strength isn't so important. It's all in the head, and a female competitor can be just as quick as a male competitor.
Yes, there is an aspect linked to the pure performance, but we know that the resilience is a key factor in endurance, and the way also women think they are very normally protecting the machines, the mechanics. So the approach is very interesting in terms of concept, and we need this kind of different approach, let's say a little bit less brutal than what we expect from men. So it's a new, and again, as Jean was saying, it's the beginning of a new process. For the moment, it's a birth of a phenomenon, but this phenomenon will grow up because after that, you have to go from karting, then to junior, and bring them to the queen category. But it will come, and we are sure that one day a female team will win the Le Mans 24 hours. We are totally devoted to that.
And part of the diversity inclusion program, we've got the innovative car returning to Le Mans this year. So with Frédéric Sausset, so we now have disabled drivers
absolutely
on the same playing field as able-bodied drivers, and that's really important as well. Again, that's showing what could be achieved.
Yeah, we must be open and we must be welcoming and give a chance to everybody to be able to enjoy motor racing, and there is no reason for discrimination.
Monsieur President, Jean, where did the motorsport virus infect young Jean Todt? What age were you, do you think, when you first saw cars racing, competing? Where did the passion come from that you've carried all your life?
No, I think it was in my blood, because my father was a doctor. He had no interest for cars, and interest came with me, and I was fascinated. And a few decades after, I think I achieved the start of my dream.
Well, and your dream started, as we know, in rallying. So you started as a rally co-driver?
Not really. I mean, it was just, I would say, my progression started with rallying as a co-driver. But if I could have jumped directly at the Formula 1 driver, I would have signed immediately. But simply, I could not do it. So, but my dream was about motor racing, and it still is. And also about, global, the evolution of mobility, which is fascinating. If you see how motoring was 1 century back, and what it is now, and what it can be in the future, is absolutely sensational.
So with your passion for racing, obviously you helped Todt to win a World Rally Championship. Running Peugeot Turbo Sport, you won multiple World Rally Championships. You won the Dakar. You went on to win Le Mans multiple times. You then entered into an enormously dominant period in Formula One. Is there a motorsport discipline that you always thought, I'd really like to try that, but you never had the chance?
I mean, not really. I mean, I must say that maybe motorsport in the US is different. You know, that's why I was very pleased to be able to be in Indianapolis 500 last August without spectators, but still I was there with Roger Penske, with a legend in motorsport. Incidentally, he will be celebrated in Goodwood in a few weeks. But I mean, a part of motorsport in US, I've been going through all categories, and since now over 11 years, I have the privilege to run the global federation, running motorsport, running mobility. So it's quite interesting chapters for somebody who started to be keen with motorsport as a child.
And Richard, from you, there seems to be a passion for modern racing, but also you've got a real passion, like a lot of us have, for older machinery. Where did that come from? Where did you start to discover cars?
I think it's my love for engineering and my love for aesthetics. It's true that I have quite a good collection of cars, a lot of race cars, a lot of them from around the 70s, which was the golden era of motor racing. But it was very interesting because the approach was a little bit like what we want to do in hypercar. That is to say, you had plenty different kind of engines, different sounds, different shape. I have, for example, a quite nice collection of four-wheel drive Formula Ones. It was a time where everybody was experimenting. I love that, but I love also modern cars, of course.
That's one of the things that I always love so much about endurance racing. Everything looks different, sounds different, different shapes, different types of car all brought together, and that's always been part of it. Finally, Jean, we're looking towards a whole new future in endurance racing, and you're looking to turn a page in your career as well. Your time as the president of the FIA is coming to an end. What's next for Jean Todt? A good holiday, I imagine, after the last 15 months. I mean, what's the plan?
Don't imagine, sure. Wait until I tell.
Well, I was going to say, you don't strike me as the man who'll lie on a beach doing nothing for 6 months. You seem that you need to be busy. Have you made plans for the future? Are you looking ahead to other mountains to conquer?
I mean, joke apart, you know, I must say I'm kind of happy FIA President, but I've also a strong responsibility being the UN Secretary General Special Envoy for Road Safety around the world. I'm a founder of a medical institute in France. I am also part of different boards, the president of a foundation in Myanmar. We need a lot of support at the moment, as you can imagine. So already quite a lot on my plate for the future, and then maybe the best is still to come.
I imagine it probably is, and you've made such a big contribution to global road safety using the power and the spread of the FIA, and that's obviously one of your key passions. As you said, your spinal health charity as well, which you've been involved with for a number of years. So they'll get more of your time, and
But you know, maybe I mean it's a life is like a race, you know, kind of 24 hours. Only thing when it starts, you don't know if it will be 24 hours, 48 hours, or 6 hours. So I hope I still have a few hours in front of me. But you know, we started with when started the passion, then what we could do among the different categories. But I think when you have some success in your life, it's time to give something back to the others. So it's what I've been trying as a volunteer since now more than 11 years. And as I said, as long as your brain is working, that your legs are moving, you can do things.
Well, gentlemen, thank you both for your time. I know you're going to be very busy this weekend, as everybody is at a racetrack. It's been a delight to catch up with you, and we look forward to a great future for endurance racing, and as well, Monsieur President, for your future as well outside of the FIA. And thank you very much indeed. That's it for this episode of WEC Talk. My thanks to Jean Todt and Richard Mille for taking time out of a very busy Spa weekend to chat to us. Until the next time, stay safe and thanks for listening.